YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. A little bit of a cloudy morning here in Rochester, New York. As the title says, anything for a buck. By the way, still trying to figure out what bunnies and eggs have to do with Jesus Christ. Don't want to get into religion. I don't want to get into too many hot topic button, whatever you call it, issues. Um, but when you get older, you start realizing more and more that a lot of stuff is just driven by corporate America, right? It's driven by sales, right? And it's driven with one main goal in mind. Don't ever let anyone tell you, excuse me, any different. The majority of these holidays, okay, are driven by sales. And I think a lot of us, conscious folks, conscious minded, awoke folks, right? Folks that are awoke, that are awakened, that are not asleep, right? That are not conditioned and brainwashed, right? I think a lot of folks, smart, open minded, awoke folks, know that it's all about making a buck. It's all about a buck. Good morning, April. Thank you for logging in, tuning in. So don't ever let anyone else tell you any different. It is all about the paper chase. That is why before one holiday is even over, you'll see many stores stocking up for the next holiday, right? Christmas is barely over, and you already, good morning, Red Comic. Happy Easter to you, my brother. And again, Red Comic reminds me this is nothing, I'll say this, and if I offend someone, I apologize. I'll say this. It's not that I apologize. I mean, this channel is about my opinions and my views, you know what I mean? And some of you will agree and some of you won't, and some of you are on here just to troll, and some of you are real fans, which we'll get to in a minute. And some of you are, just watching, right? But I'll say this, again, we're not going to get into the whole meaning of a holiday or what I think that the holiday really means. I am talking specifically about corporate America and how it's all driven by money. It's all driven by sales. It's all driven with one point in mind: to get you to spend money. And again, if anyone, while we're on this live, I'm not going to be on here too long. If anyone can please tell me what bunnies and eggs have to do with Jesus Christ, I'm all open. I mean, I'm open for your comments, your opinions on that. I haven't figured it out. In fact, I'll take it a step further and say that the last time I checked, bunnies don't lay eggs. I could be wrong on that. So hey, I'm not Mr. Know-It-All, right? So if anyone wants to enlighten me on that. But again, I don't want to go down that road too much, and I definitely don't want to offend anyone. That's not my intention. But again, this is obviously my platform, and I worked in retail all my life. You are so right. Thank you, April. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. And, even, and I'll tell you a short little story here that maybe some of you could relate, especially single parents out there, right? Single moms, single dads, right? Uh, Without getting into too much detail, I recently had a conversation through texting because that's how it works best. Sometimes when you and your in my case my child's mother. You don't want to get into too much detail. A lot of you that follow my work, and we'll get to that in a minute. A lot of the real fans. We're talking about the real fans out here who know Davy V, and we'll get to that. We may actually have to make a part two to this video. Um, but a lot of you real fans that really know me and really know what I stand for, really know what I've been through, what my family has been through, right? Really understand me. Not people that are just trying to kill time and are bored and are surfing on the internet. I'm talking about the real dedicated fans, especially the day one fans, right? Um, you know who you are. I'm not trying to call anyone out or single anyone out, but again, we'll do another video probably about that because that's a whole subject in it, on its own. But let's just say that, because of the trolls and because of the threats, the ongoing threats, which law enforcement in Monroe County, New York, all law enforcement in the Monroe County, New York area has ignored and continues to ignore. All you got to do is go on my Twitter feed and you'll see that I've used that platform and I'm using that platform to document these threats against me and my family. So a lot of you fans will respect that I don't want to get too much into detail about personal stuff, and I try to keep my, you know, family life as private as I can, right? Precisely because of all these trolls and all these haters and these very, very sick, twisted, disturbed individuals who have stalked me and my family for years and who are basically just fixated on me. Uh, so without getting into too much detail, I'll tell you this. Recently, I had a conversation through text with my child's mother, and the conversation centered around just encouraging our child, right, and teaching our child about the importance of money, from using money wisely. There's nothing wrong with getting yourself a treat, right, or getting something you like. Obviously, especially if you're a child, right? You're only a child once. I mean, you can be a child when you grow up. I collect Hot Wheels, and there's nothing wrong with that. But childhood is magical, and there's nothing wrong. So without coming on too strong, I just basically text her, please encourage our child to, be smart with money, to make, to try and learn and make at an early age, because that's when we're programmed, right? Think about it. That's when we're conditioned in life. It happens early. You got to teach your kids early the importance of money, the importance and the value of money, right? We've all made mistakes with money, and so we want our kids to be better. Isn't that what it's about? We're supposed to want that, right? We're supposed to want the next generation to be better than the last generation, right? To not make the same mistakes that we have made. Isn't that what parenting is? Part of it, at least, should be. So, you know, I was I was a bit surprised and disappointed that her response was basically, you do it your way, I do it my way. Very hostile, which reminded me why the relationship didn't work in the first place. And maybe some of you could relate to that. And again, I don't want to get too many details. But basically, she, scoffed at the whole idea of teaching our child to be smart with money. And one of the things I texted her is, well, I'm disappointed. I said, it's not about you doing it my way, your way, and me doing it my way. There's certain things that I would hope, and that's why I was disappointed, that we agree on. And that is, certain things we should be on the same page about. And I would think, I don't know if some of you guys and girls agree, I would think that teaching a child, you know, to be smart with money, even if it means, yeah, you can get that toy or you can get that, clothing item or sneakers or whatever, but why don't we save up for it a little bit, right? Why don't we hold off? Why don't you take the $20 that your uncle gave you and then the $10 that whatever grandma gave you or whatever, and why don't you put all that together? Don't get this itch in your hand, in your pocket, right? Like we all have. And again, I'm talking from experience, right? As a child, where whenever I got money, I felt like I had to rush out and spend it, right? So I said, let's, you know, my point is, I was trying to get her to encourage our child to be smart with money, to make smart choices, or at least to try and start learning how to make smart choices, right? And that comes with encouragement from the parents. And basically, I said it's not about you do it your way and I do it my way. It's about some things we should be on the same page about. And the key to all this, and this is what I texted, was that, um, especially as a child gets older, they need to understand that a lot of this bombardment from advertisement, right, from commercials online and on TV, it's all meant for one thing, and it's all meant with one purpose in mind. Don't get it twisted, and that's to get you to part with your money, to get you to spend your money. Okay, I agree completely. My father taught me how to save money. Took a lot of learning before I could out of poverty. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Red Comic. Absolutely. And so I was surprised because here I am trying to say something that's good. It's not my way or your way. It should be our way. It should be the way that we want. Thanks for teaching parents, because absolutely, because it's messed up big time. I'm sorry, that went off kind of quick. So it is what it is. That's why relationships sometimes don't work out. And it was just a reminder of, hey, I thought this person had some sense, right? I thought this person would be in accordance, in agreement with me, right? And apparently they weren't, and that's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it on my end. I'll encourage my child, like I've done with my other children, the importance of money, the value of money, and to be smart. That doesn't mean don't buy something. That means, be smart with it. And that's what advertisement is. All these companies, they want to hook you, and they want to hook you at a young age, and they want you to part with your money. It's all driven by sales. And I know I've gotten a little bit far from the whole Easter thing, and I meant no disrespect to anyone. You know me, I'm very blunt, and I'm going to speak my mind, and that's the whole point. And I would think that's the whole point why you guys and girls log in, right? To hear me and see me speak my mind. Otherwise, I'm confused why you would log in. That's what this channel's about. From standing up for your rights to educating and informing folks on different things, such as First Amendment right to record and whatnot, to maybe some advice, and maybe you'll learn something, right? So with that said, you know, it's just important. It's important, and that's why when I see these one holiday leaving and then the other one starting, Valentine's Day leaving, and their Christmas is leaving, and Christmas is barely gone, and they got Thanksgiving. They I'm sorry, Christmas is barely gone, and they got Valentine's Day stuff up. Right, Valentine's Day is barely gone, and they have Easter stuff up. And again, don't forget. I mean not to disrespect anyone's faith, anyone's belief. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be very careful, and it's important to teach children, because it's all, don't get it twisted, it's all generated, driven to generate revenue. That's what it's about. It's a huge commercial industry, and that's the corporate America thing. All right. So, anyways, with that said, it's a great segue into a little video that I posted yesterday, which, I'm sure it's getting some mixed reaction, and that's fine. I don't want yes men or yes women. I want people that, may not agree with something I post or put up or whatever. But the video is basically that Wegmans Food Market here in Rochester, New York. Those of you that are not familiar, Wegmans is a big supermarket, grocery chain. And they're in about 5 or 6 states, give or take. And they started out of Rochester, New York. They're based in Rochester. And basically, I found it kind of hypocritical, because a couple of months ago, December, 2 white college students here from St. John Fisher College in Rochester, New York, Pittsford, New York to be precise, just outside Rochester, uh, had nothing better to do than vandalize a beautiful Frederick Douglass statue. There were like 13 statues put throughout the city to commemorate his 200th birthday. And these 2 white college students ripped the statue off its base, vandalized it, ran down the street with it while yelling the N-word and other racial slurs. And they received basically a slap on the wrist in court. And some restorative justice program, which supposedly that made them, supposedly it's what they want people to believe, is that all of a sudden they were racist, and all of a sudden they went to this program for a few weeks and they were not racist. Poof, gone. It's magic. You're not racist anymore. And I don't buy that shit. But the sheep will, and the people that are brainwashed and conditioned and believe anything mainstream news media wants them to believe, which again, it's all about getting in your head. And that's what mainstream media is great at, spinning stuff, right? So, anyways, what does this have to do with Wegmans, Davey? Where are you going with it? Well, I was at Wegmans and I noticed that they're selling stickers or something, some little souvenir kind of stuff. Anything for $1, right? Literally 99 cents, just under $1. Um, like the title says, anything for $1. And they were selling, they're basically profiting. Wegmans, let's be clear about it. Wegmans food markets in Rochester, New York, is profiting off of civil rights leaders such as Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, and Harriet Tubman, all people who, are legends, are icons. Frederick Douglass, no disrespect to Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Frederick Douglass is the father of the civil rights movement in this country. And he did a lot of work in Rochester, New York. As some of you know, he's buried in Rochester, New York, in beautiful, historic Mount Hope Cemetery in the city. And he founded the North Star anti-slavery newspaper here in the 1800s. And so basically, I found it kind of hypocritical, because when this case happened where these two white college students vandalized Frederick Douglass' statue, nobody, let me roll this window up. None of these leaders, right, and these big corporate people like Danny Wegmans, for example, the CEO of president or whatever of Wegmans Food Markets, none of them denounced it. And I believe that here's my thing, I believe when something that big happens, right, a racist, a hate act like that, right, a hate crime like that, and I know it's not considered a hate crime because they vandalized a statue and it wasn't a person, but still, in my opinion, it's absolutely a hate crime. It's racist filled. It's racist, and for them to get a slap on the wrist was even more disturbing, or perhaps even more disturbing than the original act. But my point is that none of these so-called leaders, none of these Black Lives Matter bullshit groups, like I always call them out for their hypocrisy, no one stood up. No one really denounced this. Yeah, a couple talking heads on the news or whatever denounced it. The mayor, of course, came out. She does it, Mayor Lovely Warren here in Rochester, New York, does it for political reasons and bullshit. But no one really denounced this in any clear way, right? And so my point is, it's kind of hypocritical, and I think it's very disrespectful that Wegmans Food Markets is making money off leaders like Frederick Douglass, right? Like I said, anything for $1. And especially when they didn't denounce this disgusting racist act where they vandalized this statue. So I'm going to wrap it up here. We've been going for a little bit. But again, never forget, it's all driven by sales. It's all driven by money. It's all driven with one goal in mind, to get you to part with your money, to get you to spend your money. And I'll close with this. There is a serious problem within the minority communities, African-American communities, and Latino communities. And I'm talking predominantly African-American and Latino communities right now, the inner city communities. And that is the instant gratification. And that's that we want something now. We got to have it now. I don't want to save for it. I want it today. And that's where these companies like Rent-A-Center and Aaron's and all these rental companies get over on people, exactly like that. Those are the target audience, the target customers that these companies want. People that have not been taught the principles, have not been taught the value of saving, right? Of delayed gratification, right? So they want it now. They want instant gratification. They got to have that boombox now. That boombox, that radio. I know a boombox is a little old school, but you know what I mean. That radio that otherwise would cost them $79, right? God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. They want that radio that otherwise would cost $79, right, at Walmart or whatever. No, they want it now, but they don't have the $79. So what do you do? What do? I want the radio. I don't have $79 to give to Walmart. Oh, wait a minute. Wow. Companies like Rent Center and Aaron's will rent me that radio. I'll only pay like $495 over 150 payments, right? And they don't think about that. They want it. Oh, okay. I don't care paying 20 times what the radio really costs. $39.95 a month for it. Um, and those are the people that these companies target. And I've written about it. Google Davy V Rent Center. I wrote this about it in my blog years and years ago about the problem within many minority communities where children are not taught the value. Teaching kids to save for emergencies is very important because they could always come up. Absolutely, April. Absolutely. Golden advice. Golden advice right there from April. Absolutely. What do they say? Most Americans don't even have $1,000 saved up. I believe I could be off on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Great advice. So again, we'll wrap it up here, but and that's all I tried to do. You know what I'm saying? Is when I reached out to my child's mother to try to see if we can be on one page about this. And I can't really say I was surprised at the response, but I was really disappointed because that's something that every parent, whether you're together or not, whether you have differences, whether you barely agree on anything. Juan says change that hat. I don't wear hats. That's another thing. I don't really wear hats. First of all, I'm not a baseball person. I'm gonna be honest with you. The only sport I really truly follow, and some of you maybe have seen my videos, I've met famous boxers. It's boxing. That's the only. Hi from Norway. What's good? Good morning. Good morning to you too. Thank you. Norway in the house. Thank you so much for logging in and tuning in. Hopefully you subscribe. Hit that bell. Thank you so much. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get off track here, but the hat is a New York thing. You know what I mean? I'm a New Yorker, right? Shout out to the 305 where I've spent first part of my childhood, Miami, Florida. Any viewers and fans down there, shout out. But I don't get into the whole sports thing. It's funny, whenever I wear this hat, whenever I wear this hat, people are like, hey, they did great last night, right? Did you see Aaron Judge? And, I know who they are, obviously, you know what I mean? But I don't really follow baseball, you know what I mean? It's more of a fashion statement. So, um, you know. But anyways, listen, teach your kids the importance of money. Teach them not to fall for these corporate America traps where all they're trying to do is get you to part with your money. Teach your kids the value of delayed gratification. Thank you. You look good, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Um, you know, teach them that. And if you're in a situation like I am and millions of other parents are where you're a single parent, it's okay. If they shut you down like I was shut down, and I wasn't surprised, but I am disappointed. I was disappointed. That's okay. Just use that and turn it into all the more reason for you. Even if the other side doesn't approve of it, and the other side, your significant other, ex or whatever, doesn't approve of it, that's okay. Even use that as fuel, even more reason, especially even more reason, knowing that one side is not going to teach them. Here's the thing. Like me now in this situation that I know, right? If the other person is not going to teach them, and if the other person has made it clear to you that they're not in agreement with you of teaching your child something as important as the value of money and delayed gratification and stuff like that, then obviously you know now that you really have your work cut out for you. Saludos from Puerto Rico. I really love your channel. Gracias. Muchas gracias. I want to take a screenshot of that. Muchas gracias. Saludos a todos los boricuas en Puerto Rico, desde Rochester, Nueva York. Shout out to all the Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico and throughout the country, throughout the U.S., from Rochester, New York. So again, teach your children because, and here's what I was going to say. If you know, like I know now, that your ex, okay, in my case, my child's mother, does not, which is crazy, but hey, you can't control people, right? Does not agree that it's a good thing to teach our child the importance of money and delayed gratification and saving and being smart with money and not feeling that you have to go out and spend the money and not just handing your money over to big corporations, which is exactly what they want. Um, then you know if the other side doesn't agree with you and it's not going to be on that page with you of teaching these important things, then use that, because now you know even more now you have to teach your child, especially if the other side is not valuing that and basically, shut you down and said it's not important to teach, right? So anyways, I love each and every one of you. Thank you. We went a little longer than I thought. We're at 26 minutes. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to all the new subscribers. More videos coming soon. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Tap the bell. Obviously, hit subscribe. Tap the bell.